Good evening, Mr. Mushtaq.
Good evening, Coach Saeed.
Hey, Gulnar. How are you?
Good evening, ma'am.
How are you? Good evening. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, fine. God has been so kind. How about you?
All good. Thank you.
Wonderful,
Thank you.
wonderful.
I don't
so
need to
happy
talk now.
meet
You both are talking good
yes,
enough.
yes. We know each other. We have been together
Yes.
so long now.
Great.
Yes, it's a good feeling.
No,
Great
that's very
indeed.
nice. Very nice.
Mhm.
I'm happy to see
Yeah.
this kind of interaction.
Yeah, and we have been in touch offline also, so we exchange a lot of information, help
Good,
each other,
good,
which is
good.
nice.
Useful,
So,
very. Yes.
Let's do a little bit of catch up
Yes.
from the previous weeks because today is an important step forward.
Okay.
We will be moving into step 2,
Yes.
week 3, and step 2 of our Incredible You program.
Okay.
So, if you can just briefly catch up what we have learned so far.
We did our personality test, so
Yes.
we came to know who we are.
Yes.
And we did the wheel of life, so
Great.
on the 8 zones, so we analyze like where it is more strong and where it is more weak, and
Great,
we need to
right.
work on. So far so good.
Okay.
And we understood our baselines,
Yes.
all right, and that was an amazing enlightenment of who we are, what is inside us in
Exactly.
terms of in our
And we
inner-
try to express those baselines.
and we expressed that
We did that
baselines.
activity of
we
expression
also
and non-expression.
Yes.
Yes, and the change activity.
And the change was big. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was our closing of previous
week 1.
session.
Yes.
So I just to quickly refresh, especially the baseline part, because it is one of the important discovery. When we talk about inner DNA or knowing who we are, what as a person, as an individual, what we are. So I hope you have been thinking about your baselines,
Yes.
about if you had to make any decisions,
Yes.
you kind of went through that process.
Yeah.
If you can just briefly tell me, Mr. Mushtaq.
Yeah, I mean, we were very conscious about our baselines,
Yes.
and whenever we try to do any activity or not doing any activity, for example, so baselines were always forefront, and
Okay.
that we had this self-realization. Oh, I'm doing this because of this.
Right.
All right,
Exactly.
So that was amazing, I must say.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. So now we move to the next part, which is referred as integrated power coding.
Okay.
Okay. Now this is, you can say, going more deeper into our inside and seeing why we are the way we are. Okay. And this is referred to as coding. So if you remember, we said baselines. Can you refresh me how baselines are formed, for example?
That's a good question. Baselines are conceptual codes which represent our core values.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how we make up, through our life.
It's through the family and friends and the society and the
Exactly.
people we mingle with,
Exactly.
and the environment and the way we perceive things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So do you think baselines are easy to change?
Not really, because unless we come across some defining moment.
Something drastic happens,
Drastic should
good or
happen,
bad,
yeah.
in our life.
Yeah.
There are chances that our
Yeah.
baseline could slightly change.
Yes.
But in general, baselines don't change so
Yes.
easily.
Yeah.
Whereas when we talk about power coding, integrated power coding,
Mm-hmm.
this can change.
Oh, lovely.
And that is the good part actually,
Yes.
because there could be codes could be good, positive, or could be bad, negative. So the good part is it can be changed. So if you have something negative or bad code, you can change it to a good code.
Okay.
What we refer as N codes and E codes.
Okay.
E code generally we refer as negative codes, and E codes as positive codes.
Okay.
All right. So let me just read it quickly. What are these integrated power coding? Because this is one of an important part.
Yeah.
So I will just read through the instructions, which are very important. If you feel you need some more clarity, we can discuss it further with some examples, etc. So feel free to ask me. So what is integrated power coding? The Incredible You works deep into your mind to shift blockages that prevent you from moving ahead. Integrated power coding is a process that help you understand how you have been coded and how to remove negative coding that you may have been aware of in your life. Over time, thoughts can become codes. Could be bad thoughts, could be good thoughts, and they kind of become your codes. And through these codes, we start giving meaning to our lives. The way we see things, the way we perceive things, it has direct or indirect impact on that. So like baselines, your codes motivate you, inspires you, and can even crush you. If they are negative, they can be harmful for you. So you integrate your codes without even realizing. It's kind of subconsciously you have these codes developed throughout your life, and it kind of remain inside you. And they are normally collected over a period of time, again from your family, friends, social media, what you see in TV, what you experience in your life, you make codes. It is usually easier to change the codes than it is radically change a baseline. As we said, baseline cannot be changed so easily, but the codes can be changed quite easily. Because coding happens as a result of interpreting an event or a situation at a specific point of time. So I can give you an example. For example, in my life, when I was quite young, my father and mother, they moved from Pakistan, they moved to Dubai, and they put me into a school here. It was somewhere on 3rd or 4th standard. It was a big change for me, moving from Pakistan to here, different environment, different culture, from an Urdu medium to English medium, and I failed. I failed in that standard, and my father said, no, he will not study now. Okay? He removed me from the school. He said, okay, you'll become a mechanic, you'll stay at home. So even if I think about that moment, it gives, I get goosebumps. That means I was such a failure that my father, so it became a very defining moment for me, which kind of still there, sometimes it affects me negatively.
So that's like a negative, what do you call, code.
Yes, it's a kind of negative form which has formed. I'll tell you further example. So as I said, this can be divided broadly into two, encodes and ecodes. Encodes usually end up with an answer or statement that makes you feel awful, feels you bad. Example, I never do anything right. Everyone is always against me. If you were coded this way, you would feel awful, you will feel bad, you will never feel good. On the other hand, the e-code is these codes usually end up with an answer or statement that is empowering you and gives you the drive and strength. Okay? Example could be, I'm strong enough to always find way and never quit because I'm a winner. Okay? So you can imagine the kind of impact it has. So majority of people have no idea how they are coded. They don't have a clue what is running in the background of their minds. They can't see the real direction is given by the e-codes or encodes. We can define our codes and eliminate all encodes that destroy us. So that is the main purpose of it. If your baselines are clear and you have no idea how you are coded, then you will not understand why things don't work out for you. Okay? You will have mood swings, angry outbursts, and even depression. When codes and baselines are not aligned, then you can try working hard for the rest of your life and nothing will stay permanent and things will never be same. So as I said, my example, I can give you, for example, just hypothetically, Ravi's brother shouted at him in front of his friend. Okay, this is an example. Now what is the impact of this, or what is the defining moment? Ravi formed his belief that his brother will always embarrass him in front of his friends. So that is the belief he got out of it. Sheila's teacher shouted in her school for doing the homework wrong. She called Sheila an idiot. Now Sheila formed a code that she is not good enough. Okay, at studies to match up with the teacher's expectations. So maybe the event is not big enough or not drastic enough, but the moment or the defining moment it becomes for you, it can have a very,
Very good.
lasting, everlasting effect, good or bad.
True.
I have an example of positive. In spite of bad results, John's father praised him on his efforts put in for his final exams. Now, what happens? He now made a decision to increase his efforts even more and make his dad proud. Okay, so his father also had a reaction to that, but what that reaction did was it had a positive, moment for his son. So what we do throughout our lives, we collect evidence that strengthen our codes, bad or good or bad. And these encodes are not necessarily good, but they kind of protects you. It creates a kind of protection shield for you. When you say I don't want to do it, your mind will give the evidence. Because of that, you cannot do it, or you're not good enough, and you say, okay, that's why it's not happening for me. Whereas it's the code which is having this effect. Once you have found the code, your brain will start hunting for evidence to prove it's true, so that you can hold on to it. Sometimes the brain will make things appear in a way you want them to, so that the code is constantly fed evidence to confirm it's true. This is where codes get integrated. Imagine a seeding. You plant it and starts to water. You have a choice to water it with nutrients or with slow killing poison. The more you water it, the more codes get integrated to confirm the code. If you pour nutrients water over the poison seeding, it will not believe it has nutrients. It will believe it's not worthy and kill the power of nutrients. As the year go by, the codes will become so strong that you will see the world through it. If you are stacked up with N codes, you are going to have a terrible life. Over the years, you will build up so much of evidence support the belief that it becomes integrated in you, and you don't even think to question it as an adult. You can't change the past, but you can change your interpretation of the past. And you can reintegrate your codes to power codes to serve, support, nurture, and challenge you if you choose to. Okay, so is it clear enough?
Very clear.
Very
Sure.
clear.
Yeah.
So we have an activity.
That is thought provoking.
Yeah, we have an activity called letting go and holding on. Okay, I would request you to please do this activity. It's called letting go and holding on. I want you to think of your life and some events of your life, both positive and negative, that made a big impact on them. Okay, they will. I request you to think deeper. Take some time.
Yeah.
Okay, and think deeper. Even if you have to go 10 years back, 30 years back, and if you can recall something, good event or bad event, I would like to make a record of that event.
Yeah.
So the idea is to understand through that event what code has been formed in your mind. Okay,
Yeah.
so that we can discover it and try to change it.
Yeah.
Step 1 is to list down 5 events or defining moments, as we call it, that created a massive impact in your life. So 2 think of negative and 3 positive.
Yes.
So total of 5 events. And then the step 2 will be answer a question of for each event. I would request to answer a set of questionnaires. So if you see page number 39.
Yeah.
Here, kindly note down 2 negative and 3 positive events
Yes.
of your life, and then go down to page number 40, and then for each event there are set of questions. If you can kindly answer that questions for our further discussion.
Okay.
Okay,
Sure.
let's have few moments
Yes.
and then we can.
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
So, Mr. Mushtaq, I believe you have
Yeah.
completed it.
Yes, I have completed it.
Yes, I see that. Okay, so if you can just tell me one positive event.
The one positive event is winning a prestigious contest in a job.
Okay.
Yeah, it gave me so much of confidence, like, you know,
Okay.
I can do it.
Okay.
Yeah, right. And the negative is like my father stopped me going to the school because he thought I will always fail,
Okay.
and he asked me to become a mechanic, so that
Okay. Okay.
demoralized me completely.
So it had a big impact in your life.
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely.
And because of that incident,
Yes.
still makes you have impact, good or bad,
Yes.
till date on your life.
That's right.
So you
true.
can imagine what kind of one defining moment, maybe 30 years ago,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
40 years ago, or 10 years ago,
It's very clear even in
could
front of
keep
Yes.
haunting you,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes.
somewhere or the other
Sure.
in your future life as well.
Absolutely.
So discussing about the positive moment,
Yeah.
you have shared that, and could you tell me how it's helping you to do better?
Yeah. When thereafter, like, I started doing so many things, you
Mm.
know, with that positive frame of mind,
Hmm.
and I started to perform well, and people started to encourage me, and I kept on winning and winning and winning until I became a general manager of the company.
Great, great.
So-
So it gives you more self-confidence,
Yes,
self-belief.
yes. That trigger had just, you know, unleashed me.
Fully understand.
Yeah.
So now tell me how important it is to hold on to this.
Oh, I
Positive.
forever in my life, you know, forever. Not only that, you know, I spread that energy all through my organization, along with my
Mm.
staff, at my family, my friends, and everything. That's how
And
it was so
you,
impactful.
you also believe this will continue to have a good impact
As forever.
throughout your
Forever.
life in
Yes,
future.
Yes.
So you can see what a positive incident or a moment can, you know,
Yes.
change and have impact on your life.
True.
Now if you can share a negative one.
A negative one. As I told you, like at a very young age, when I had failed, you know, my father took me out from the school, and he said, "Okay, you are good for nothing, and you have to now go and work." And um, perhaps it's could have been avoided, because my father was very angry, but it still lingers in me, like, why did he do what he did do?
And do you still feel
I
because
still
of
feel
that
that
incident?
pain,
you
yes, that stain, yeah.
till
Because I
today?
was very young, as a child, you know, you didn't expect that from your father,
Yes.
but it did happen.
Mm.
Sometimes, you know, that's how it
And
is.
tell me how much desperately you want to get rid of this negative quote.
Oh, if you have a magic wand, then you can just make it like this and just erase my
Erase it.
memory. You know, all that bad memory. I just don't want it.
Yes.
I don't-
Well, you know, sadly or honestly, I will not say you can erase it completely, but you can definitely silent it.
Okay.
Okay, make it quieter. Okay,
Mm.
and then quickly think of E codes rather than focusing and allowing N codes to affect you.
Yes.
You kind of make it silent, quieten it, and quickly move and think of your E codes, which could motivate you, which could excite you, energize you, you know, and then you quickly bounce back out of that N codes into E code, you know, and
Yes.
have a shift, mind shift quickly.
Cook said, may I mention at this point, this negative quote, like I failed in grade 6,
Yeah.
and what a bad feeling I had, because none of the teachers, I felt that none of the teachers even cared for me at that time.
Hmm.
But I'm realizing now how it has turned out to be an E-code, because when it happens to my students in respective classes, how I reach out to them, so that is my E-code actually.
Yes,
So I'm
you
just
make sure
I'm actually
you make
realizing
sure
that right
that
now.
does not affect.
Yeah, the child, those children who are having
Interesting.
that problem.
That's a very great example.
Amazing.
I
Very
really
interesting.
that has hit me right now.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Great. So we have one. So please think over of all your 5 defining moments.
Yes.
We have discussed one positive, one negative.
Right?
So please think over and answer all the questions for all the 5 defining moments.
I have done it already. Yeah.
Okay, great, great. So just to kind of summarize, the idea is to realize and recognize the encodes and how to get rid of them or change them to e-codes, and how having positive incidents, defining moments, how to hold on to them to our dear life and utilize it for our better progress.
Yes.
Great. So now we'll close our session here today. Please complete this if you can for all the 5 defining moments, and if you have question next week in our next session, we can discuss this again further.
Sure.
And when we meet in our next session, I'll be discussing about the coding further in details, and there are some activities which I want to go through it.
Yes.
Okay. And then we have more further discussion and understanding of this encodes and e-codes in our next sessions.
Wonderful. Sure.
Very
All
good.
right.
Absolutely great.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. This was a very interesting session. Thank you.
It's
I
me.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank
So
you
look
so much.
forward to see you in the next
See you.
session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gulnam. Thank you.